Hi everyone, my name's Dave Ware and I am a home recording artist and I'm just about to release a new album called Blue Skies and Sci-Fi, and I thought it might be quite fun to go through some of my process when it comes to plugins and choices of instrument and how I've put them together. I've never done a vlog before, so this is something new for me. A couple of things to sort out before we get too far. It is 9:25 in the evening on 27th of October 2020. So if you're watching this in the future, that's when it is. The other thing I need to talk about, I can't see what's happening on that camera, but when I looked at this earlier, there was a Space Invader spaceship just about there above my head. Looked like a little hat. If I go like that, it's probably a little hat. There's nothing I can do about it, it's on the wall. The other thing I wanted to say was the t-shirt today. Going to do t-shirts today. Is the Prodigy. We saw them 3 times over the last few years before Keith passed away. Brilliant live band, amazing. I'm going to show you whatever t-shirt I'm wearing every time, just for a bit of fun. Okay, so the piece I'm going to play and kind of go over today is there's an orchestral section which I would call the main theme in a song that I've written called The Ones That We've Lost. It's a Christmas song, which is new and interesting for me, not something I normally do. I tend to do prog rock and things like that. So here's a clip from the video I knocked up to go with the song, and this is the little piece of music that we're going to have a look at. This is The Ones That We've Lost, which is off my new album Blue Skies and Sci-Fi. This is what it sounds like. Right, okay, so that's what it sounds like. So I'm going to cut to the screen now, and this is the section you've just seen. I've cut the singing out so that we've just got the orchestral bits really, and this is what it sounds like in my digital audio workstation. Okay, very proggy, as you can tell. So I'm going to go through the little bits. I'm going to start with the orchestra. So so I've got 2 screens. So the screen you can't see has got my mixing desk on, with all of the instruments that are on there. So I'm going to just concentrate on the orchestra. So that's all of this section here, along here. So I'm going to mute the drums and the chimes and the acoustic guitars and the bass guitar. Okay, so just the orchestra. I'll take this back off the screen. Just the orchestra sounds like this. Remember to take off the synth as well. Okay, so let's break down the orchestra. So we have this Atmos, okay, which is, it's actually used as the intro to this song, and it's Spitfire Originals intimate strings. Sounds like this. It's just a drone really at this point. And then we have the orchestra, which is made up of quite a lot of stuff. Which has got strings A. So let's have a look at strings A. So strings A has come from the Albion Neo strings A. This is another Spitfire. And if we just listen to strings A on its own, it sounds like this. Okay, and that is accompanied by strings B, which is not surprisingly strings B from Albion Neo. And now those two together should be a fuller sound. But I didn't think there was going to be enough there, so I've added another string section over the top, which I've called lead violin, but I think from memory, yeah, it's Epic Strings, originals Epic Strings, which is another Spitfire plugin, and that on its own sounds like this. Let's take it back to the beginning. Now, none of these things sound much on their own, but once you add them all in, so this is strings A, B, and the lead violin, and the Atmos behind it, sounds like this. Okay, but it was lacking some low end, so we've got some cello over the top of that, which I've called cello. It might not be cello, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it is cello actually. So this is from Spitfire Audio's BBC Symphony Orchestra Discover, which is a freebie if you fill out a questionnaire, if you like. You can pay for it. I think it's about 40 quid. And it's like the bass version. They do 3 levels of BBC Symphony Orchestra, going all the way up to the top one, which is like 900 quid or something. So the cello sounds like this. Let's get it back to the beginning. Okay, I'm not sure whether you can hear some clicking on that. That's actually the audio settings being a bit upset, so I'm going to just up that a little bit. It's probably going to mean there's going to be a slight delay on my voice now, but it improves the sound on that. So that was the cello. So if we add the cello in with the lead violin and the strings and the Atmos as well. Which is a bit nicer. And then I thought it would be nice to add some pizzicato, which is nice, which is this one here, which again is from BBC Symphony Orchestra. So let's have a little listen to that. Which is nice, very pretty. Put it all in together. with the cello and all the rest of it. And it sounds like this. Which is nice. Yeah, so the other thing I had on top of that was some chimes, because that was a bit of a lead in. If I play you the beginning of the song back here, these chimes give it like a Christmas sort of feel, I thought. Okay, and they continue throughout whenever this orchestral part comes in, really. So to listen to that, turn everything back on again. So that now sounds like this. Okay, the chimes, by the way, are exactly what you think they'd be. They're glockenspiel, straight out of the BBC Symphony Orchestra again. So what it needed on top, I thought, was some brass, some big sort of brass to sort of really sort of move it along a little bit. So the brass is this one here. Okay, and the brass is actually from FX Brass and Woodwinds, which is another Spitfire original. There's a bit of a theme here. I rather like Spitfire stuff. So the brass, if I turn everything else off quickly, it sounds like this. So apart from that last bit, it more or less follows what the strings are doing. So I turn those all on so you can have a little listen. So it should sound like this now. So that's rather nice. So to add to that, what I thought would be good would be some timpani, big old drums, and some cymbals. So that's here. So if you listen to that on its own, it sounds like this. Bit Thunderbirdsy, but that's okay. So put all those in together. It sounds like this. Okay, and there was some more percussion. If I take it's not on that bit because I'll show you in a minute. There's some real drums on that bit. Well, real-ish, but so at the beginning of this, I also had a snare, and it was it's not a plug-in. It's a sample, which is rather nice. And it sounds like this. I can take all these other things out now. So that's this thing here. Just goes. Okay, but if you listen to that with everything else, it's rather nice. So it sounds like this. Okay, but on the section I'm covering, it's kind of in the middle of the song, so there's a drum kit going on, which I shall show you now or in a minute. So I thought the snare with the drum kit was a bit too much, so I've taken the snare off on that bit. So the next thing to show you would be acoustic guitars. In order to give it a real kind of almost galloping sort of feel to it, this song has this acoustic guitar all the way through it. Basically, it sounds like this. Okay, so and now that isn't a real guitar. It's another plugin. I could have played that on guitar, but it would have taken me ages and loads of takes because I'm not that good. So I'm using the Strummed Acoustic from Strummed Acoustic 2, actually, from the session guitarist, which is done by Native Instruments, who are the same people that do the Contact players. And that just... sounds nice. That was me playing on the keyboard. And I've got two the same, which I've panned hard left and hard right, and I've changed the EQ slightly, so one's slightly higher than, or slightly brighter than the other one, to give it the feeling that there's two different guitars. So together, sounds like that. It's rather nice. And now the next thing is the drums. So I'll take the acoustics off, I'll put the drums on, if I can find them. There they are. So the drums, again, another plugin. This is Modern and Massive by Get Good Drums, and I cannot tell you how good this plugin is. It's absolutely brilliant. So the drums sound like this. Okay. So I've programmed, now I'm a drummer, so I tend to program drums as if I was playing them, as if I were playing them. So I've done a hi-hat and ride kind of shuffle thing, so it's going sort of thing, and I've also got the foot pedal on the hi-hat going as well. So it sounds sort of thing. And again, that's all to do with getting a kind of a galloping sort of... I always think of a kind of like a white horse riding through deep snow, and he's galloping along. That kind of feel. And also the bass guitar. So the bass guitar is required here just to give it some oomph for the bottom end. And the bass, you'll not be surprised to know, is another plugin. This is from the Contact factory selection, so it's a freebie with the Contact player, which is also free. So these are all free. And the bass is not unmuted. So hang on a second. There it is. Not going to try and play anything, but it just sounds really good. So if we put that in with the drums, and the acoustics, Okay, so if we put that all together with the orchestra as well, you'll get an idea of how that all sounds. Okay, so that's basically it, but wasn't proggy enough, was it, for me? So I wanted to get some more prog in there, so I've added a synth. So let me turn the synth on. So I've added a synth. And the synth, if I can find it, there it is, comes from Flex. Now Flex, right, so I'll explain. I'm using FL Studio 20 point something. Now you can get synthesizers for any digital audio workstation, DAW, whatever you want to call it. But FL Studio comes with Flex for free, and it's absolutely brilliant. There's so much here, it's crazy, and most of this is free. Most of it. You can buy packs as well. So I like the synthwave one because I just love synthwave. So this is sort of thing. So I added this synth. It's down here, it's this bit here. Oh, left me chimes on. Easily done. Incredibly proggy, proper progs. That's a lot of prog. So altogether that sounds like this. If I can turn everything back on again now. And that's it. That's the orchestral section. That repeats a couple of times throughout the song because I think that's kind of the main theme. It's the opening theme and it pops up in the middle and it kind of crescendos on that in the end as well. So that's my Christmas song. It's called The Ones That We've Lost. And it's from the new album, which is dropping, when did I say? It's the 27th of October now. I think the official release date is the 1st of November, but to be honest, it's already kind of up on streaming sites. So I will link down below the video for the new Christmas song that I knocked together. It's just a lyric video, nothing clever. I'll also put links to my Bandcamp and Reverb Nation and a hyperfollow link which will take you to Spotify, Apple Music, wherever. So you can go and check out the new album. It's all for free. It's all out there for free. If you really, really want to buy it, you can get it through Bandcamp. Yeah, and that's that. So I'm Dave Ware. I shall be back again to break down another song from my new album at some point. Wearing a different t-shirt, still with the Space Invader above my head, probably. Yeah, thanks very much. Talk soon. Cheers. Bye.